Welcome to the Laughter Clinic podcast with comedian and suicidologist Mark McConville, bringing you practical, evidence-based self-care strategies, the latest research in mental health, along with conversations that inspire, educate, and entertain. This is the Laughter Clinic podcast with your host, Mark McConville.
Welcome back, my friends, to this episode of the Laughter Clinic podcast. As always, really appreciate your time in tuning in. And if you haven't already done so, hit the follow button, subscribe, and all that jazz. So today we have a wonderful guest. We always have wonderful guests, and today is no different. We are speaking to a filmmaker about what it's like to produce a documentary film all about comedy, humour, and laughter. So, without any further ado, let's welcome to the stage Medhavi Fernando. How are you going?
Hello, Mark. Good to be here.
Welcome to the Laughter Clinic podcast. Good to see you.
Thank you. Good to see you too. Great to be here.
So, we have got so much to chat about today and so much to unpack in relation to your documentary and all of that sort of stuff. So before we get into all of that, right, we like to start our chats on the podcast with a conversation around the saying laughter is the best medicine, right? So here is a saying that's been around for over 3,000 years, and now we have modern day research supporting the physical benefits of laughter, psychological benefits of using your sense of humour as a coping mechanism, and the social benefits of coming together and experiencing laughter in a social situation. So for you, when you hear the saying laughter is the best medicine, what does that conjure up for you?
I think it's the best way, both humor and laughter. It's the best way to alleviate, like you said, mental distress, anguish, pain, sometimes even physical pain. It really helps with that, with the easing. And beyond that, I think humor and laughter are the best way to bring out the best versions of yourself, best and authentic versions of yourself. So that's how I perceive it.
Yeah, because it's very organic, isn't it? You know, that's when you say the best version of yourself, it's an organic thing, is that connection between two people that are having a laugh together.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah. So for those of my guests that are not going to be familiar with your work, so who is Medhavi, and tell us a bit about the kind of work that you do in relation to filmmaking.
Sure. So I do both photography and filmmaking. So they're both like leaning towards nature, human impact stories, but also towards positive change. So whether it be human, environmental, and benefit of the animals, it's about bringing change that benefits us all around, and also to possibly do it with humor, just to make that engagement and an entertaining quality.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it adds that flair to storytelling.
Yeah. And so, because you've got a background in tech as well, right?
Yeah, so the tech part of it actually helps in the sense of pretty much the technical side of it, like operating a camera, sound, equipment handling, that stuff, because the filmmaking part and the photography was something that was self-taught. I didn't go for any kind of formal or tertiary education for it. So the tech background really helped in learning all this by myself. Yeah. And operating all this almost professional gear, and kind of open up the space for the whole creative storytelling arc that I've arrived at now.
Well, the three genres that you've got skills in tech and photography and filmmaking, and also journalism in there as well, because you formerly studied journalism as well, didn't you?
Yes, I did. Yeah. So that actually helped with the documentary aspect of it, as in to make sure I ask the right questions, drive the narrative into a focus. So making sure whoever the talent or whatever the topic is stays actually on topic. Besides all of the because sometimes the content itself can be overwhelming.
Well, that's right, because
Yeah.
guests like to talk about themselves, right? And so that's the thing. And so was visual storytelling something that you always wanted to, that was something that you've always been interested in?
Yes. So film, TV, that's been hobby and something that I've always been do on my downtime.
Mm-hmm.
But to turn that into a career was like that big inspiration and stepping stone for me. And what drew me to it would be, I would say, shows like The Weekly with Charlie Pickering or The Daily Show on Comedy Central.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's because the fact that the premise of both of these shows is that it takes something factual or news or current affairs.
Yeah.
And they have like a comedic spin on it. So the viewers are actually engaged, entertained, and also educated.
Yeah, right.
So
yeah.
Yeah, that is what really drew me to it. And like that's kind of the format I'm always inspired to do more work on.
Yeah. Yeah, because it's a real art form, isn't it? Doing a good documentary. And it always makes me think of, like we recently celebrated David Attenborough turning 100, and it's just like one of those things that like I've always remembered him to be old, my entire lifetime he's been an old guy, but I mean the longevity of his career in relation to making documentaries for the natural world has just been like, he must be, for documentaries, he must be the benchmark, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. So how is it that Seriously Unserious came to be? Now, first of all, before we get to the documentary itself, how did the title come about?
That's an interesting one. So I've been playing words like laugh out loud, which is the basic one, and things like laugh to survive, because as like a take on drive to survive.
Yeah.
Healing with humor, all of these things. And so I wrote them all down. And I also wrote Seriously Unserious. And I sent it to our producers, Wendy and Amber. I said, and send the whole list. I said, what do you think? And they said, both of them said, I like Seriously Unserious.
Yeah, right.
And then so it stuck. And everyone I say to them, they say, oh, that's really a cool title. I think it really hits home what the premise of the documentary is.
Yeah. So let's talk about that. So what is the premise?
It's the premise of actually taking laughing matters into your hands and being serious about finding the funny wherever you can. Because I think people don't take that seriously. They don't take humor seriously, which they should.
Yeah.
And so therefore, seriously, try to be unserious.
Yeah, right.
And that's what we're trying to tell you.
Yeah, that's right. And I know, we've been talking about this for over a year now. And full disclosure, I am one of the guests.
Yes.
That Medhavi has very kindly asked me to be involved in the documentary as well, which I'm very appreciative of. And because I know for you, from your initial, our initial conversations where you were thinking it was going to be one kind of standalone film type documentary, it's now expanded into something quite different to what you originally started out on. So talk to us about, what your initial thoughts for this film were and how it came to be, an episodic thing that you've got in mind now.
Yeah, so the reason was that a number of guests kind of started to expand. I'll go back. Yes. Yeah. So everyone I spoke to knew someone. They said, "Oh, this is my first person might be good," and then kind of cascaded. Well, I'll start from the beginning. It's like the very beginning of how everything came to be. So it's kind of a personal story as well. Like as a child, so we all feel joy, excitement, or exhilaration, all of that. So they're all positive emotions. There's nothing to resolve in those things. You just feel it and it's great.
Yeah.
But when you feel something negative, so sadness, fear, anger, there is something about it that you need to resolve. Like, for example, anger is telling you something, fear is telling you something.
Yeah.
And as a child, it's really hard to navigate those emotions unless there's someone who guides you. But there's not someone to guide you all the time.
Yeah.
But what I realized is through time, if I'd been in a bad mood, I felt something negative, but, for some reason laughed at something or found something really funny, I feel better.
Yeah.
And that kind of continued in my teens and into my 20s. And there'll be a part where I was working in an office and I realized I wasn't being too productive, sometimes bored, or even worse case, trying to fall asleep at my desk. I put on a stand-up comedy on one monitor and then just do the work on the other monitor. So I found myself, being more energetic because it was funny. I was laughing, and then I
did you have your headphones on? Were you
yes.
sharing it with everybody else? Like, was this content that can be shared in the workplace? Because we're all about making sure we don't upset the apple cart in the workplace.
It's probably most of the stand-up work, they weren't safe for work. That's why I had headphones on.
I just have visions of people peeping over the wall, over the little wall, if you're in like a communal workspace, or walking past your office, going, "What the bloody hell is you laughing at in there?"
They probably did because I was laughing.
Yeah.
For no reason. I mean, they couldn't hear me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like all of these, the common thing was that I felt better. And I was really curious as to what's going on. It's really fascinating what's going on inside my brain, the physiology, what's happening here. And so I thought, maybe there is a documentary about it. I can watch it and learn, because there were documentaries about everything.
Yeah.
And there still is. So I thought, I'll look it up. But I didn't really find one. I did find some good TED Talks, books, journals.
Yeah.
But not really all of these condensed into one piece of work. And then, so I didn't really think too much about it. I just continued watching stand-up, reading books, and watching TED Talks, etc. But then I think around the time of COVID, because I was just really bored, I bought a camera and just played with it. Turns out I really enjoyed doing it.
Yeah.
And someone got into filmmaking with my producer friends, Wendy and Amber. And around the time of 2022, I started reading this book called The Laughter Effect by Ross Ben-Moshe.
Yeah.
And she talks about her journey of navigating cancer and how humor really helped, like all throughout.
Yeah.
Before and during, and like how she kind of practices it every day till this day. And I thought, while reading it, I looked again for a documentary. Maybe there's something about it, but there wasn't. This was around the 2024, 2025 mark. And so I just thought, I looked up her website, found an email address, and just sent her an email saying, I am a filmmaker. I am thinking of doing something like this. I've read your book. It's really inspiring. Would you be willing to share your story? And a couple of days later, she said, yes, this really must be made a film. It needs a film.
Yeah.
And I'd love to share my story. And that gave me this real exponential confidence boost that I could do it.
Yeah.
And this, by the way, will be my first major project. That's every other thing I've just done, either small amounts of producing work or camera work. This was like major.
Yeah.
So that's where it all started. And
what a fantastic topic to get you to get your head around to start with, because it's so interesting that you go, maybe there's a documentary here, and you've gone to talk to Roz, who and it is an incredible story. Last week I actually had on David Smeet, who is also so Roz is part of the documentary, David's part of the documentary.
Yes.
David obviously talks about his journey with cancer treatment and all that sort of stuff as well. And let's talk to us about your host. Talk about that. Let's chat about Kevin.
Kevin MacIsaac, you met.
Yeah.
He is brilliant, hilarious, talented, very generous human being.
Yeah.
We're all blessed to have him on the documentary because he is the driving force of Seriously Unserious. because a story like this, which has got multiple arcs, multiple storylines, like yourself, Ross's, David's, and even Andrew Tarvin from the US, who the most recent person we filmed. And the really cool thing about Kev that I didn't even really think about is that he is able to extricate the best out of everyone, but also showcase the best of himself in each episode. And this is through like multiple people.
Yeah.
I don't know if
he's so easy to chat to, you know. He's as a host, he is so easy to chat to. You know, he makes you feel comfortable straight off the bat. Yeah.
And the way his joke and questions just come through very quick, rapid fire quips. I mean, I spent days writing jokes into a script to give him to ask in the interview. And I would look back and go, "Oh, these are terrible jokes. You know, I shouldn't write jokes. I'm not a comedian."
you leave that to the comics, right?
Exactly.
But I got to tell you, he's just off the cuff. You know, that's what I like about Kevin. He's off the cuff. He's a very easy guy to chat to. You know, I know when we did our filming, we were chatting for a couple of hours about stuff. You know, like, and it's just. It's great having someone like him that's able to get the information out of you. And I know that, you know, my recording session may change now because I've got everything happening with the Churchill Fellowship coming up, and that could, you know, change my little narrative bit about the importance of humour and laughter and the global, you know, picture of social prescribing and comedy on prescriptions, all very exciting. So aside from Kevin, myself, Rose, who else have you had a chat to? David Smeet?
So David Smeet and also Andrew Tarvin. So he is someone who talks about workplace humour and productivity.
Right. Yeah.
We recently filmed him in the US. So that's that episode. Yeah, that's a very, again, a fantastic episode. Kevin joined us remotely, and he was just as good as if he was in the room.
Yeah.
It's like it's similar on the topic, but a different arc. Because you're on most of David Ross's and yours is very much inclined to mental health. Andrew kind of stays at the workplace productivity. Yeah. So it's more of the self-enhancing and the affiliated humour terms.
Sure. And the fascinating where the link comes in, you know, you look at what the Productivity Commission said a few years ago about, you know, mental ill health costs the federal economy, you know, in the tens of billions of dollars a year in lost productivity. And so, you know, and a lot of that is a thing called presenteeism, you know, people rocking up to work and not being productive because they're struggling. And so having someone that can, you know, talk about the subject of, you know, humour and laughter in the workplace is so incredibly important because it's, you know, there's so many rules surrounding workplace culture now.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so that's where the context and timing and appropriateness comes into play. And so that's like another brilliant story arc that we present. And that's another reason we made this a docu-series.
Yeah.
Because through Kevin, we came to know David, and David Smeet, and then through David Smeet, it was you, Roz, and then our Andrew. So we decided instead of condensing everyone to one feature length, like
we each want our own episode.
We get to shine.
We just like to talk about it. So give us, can we have our own episode, please?
Yeah, and it allows you to shine your own episode. And another great thing about the docu-series is that we have experts, so neuroscientists. Yeah. So Dr. Nikki Wilson, who's based in Sydney and works at Neuro, as well as Karen Buxman from the US. So they all talk about what happens in the brain and the psychology and the physiology, which is really cool because you'd be talking about a story, explaining how you felt or how it made you more productive, happier, and they'll explain the neurochemistry behind it. Yeah. So in that way, It's more educational.
It's so cool, isn't it, that there's research out there to be shared with the world, and that's the beautiful thing about the research into humour and laughter. It's not, airy fairy kind of stuff. This is science. This is actual. There is robust data to support this. And like, you must have learnt personally so much from this varied list of guests. Is there someone that's you've been suggested to be interviewed that you've gone, I would have never have thought about including that person?
I think it would have been you, because I didn't know of you to start with, which is a shortcoming on my end, of course. Yeah.
Right. Oh, okay.
Because using humor to help prevent suicide, I've never heard of anyone else do that.
Yeah.
Even when I explained this to some of the conference members when I was in the US recently, they were fascinated.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like, I'm Australia's only stand-up comedian that's got a master's degree in suicidology. And then when you try and explain to people what it is that I do, and they kind of go, comedian, suicide prevention, how does that kind of, and yet other people that I talk to, like, they instantly go, well, of course, of course, humour and laughter, comedian, mental health, making people feel better, for like early intervention in suicide prevention, it's kind of a no-brainer, So aside from myself and our chat, has there been a guest that's really surprised you, that you've gone, wow, I didn't see that coming?
Maybe David Smith, because he's a comedian, and I didn't see, like, besides the entertainment part of things, I didn't really see how the way he looked at humor, and it's a craft, not like always an art form. Like, he has to craft it, and the fact that it how he deals with comedy not always being a hit. There'll be like 10 misses and a hit. To see that part of it, and how comedians recover from it. Navigate that. Yeah,
exactly. And that's one of the things we chatted about in last week's episode. Check it out, David Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Was the fact that, when you're first starting out, everyone, you go, there isn't a comedian on the planet that hasn't had a bad show, right? We've all bombed at some point in our careers, and the big thing is that you don't learn from the ones where you're out there nailing it. You learn from the ones where it didn't go well, because you're forced to analyse it more and go, what went wrong? What happened? How do I fix that? As opposed to walking off stage having just, bought the house down for 50 minutes, and you just walk off in a euphoria going, how good am I going? Whereas, and it teaches you resilience, like the behind the scenes of doing stand-up, that whole having a bad night and finding the inner, drive to go back to the same venue the next night and have another crack at it is, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing to do stand-up. Like, has that been something that surprised you about, making this, is when you've got to talk to comedians and you've thought, there's actually a lot more to this than what I thought?
Yeah. Because whenever I watch stand-up, like on YouTube or social media, I always think, oh, they're so funny. I never expect that it's hard to believe that they would have bombed at any point. I always think these are amazing. Love their comedy. Stand-up comedians are great. They're brave. They go on stage and say all these fun, hilarious things. Yeah. So I always worship them. So because I never expected that they're the bombs and the misses. Yeah. And so that was new to me.
Yeah. And has there been an aspect aside from, changing tack, going from one long kind of feature documentary to having an episodic thing, purely because you've got so many guests that you want their story to be told? Has there been another part of it that you've found, challenging in the process of putting the documentary together?
Telling your story and keeping it entertaining. Kevin usually takes care of that. But like cutting the footage and putting it all together with the graphics and the experts talking about it, that's all a challenge, because I have to make sure it's all structured really well.
Yeah.
And people stay on it, because I really want people to watch it, not because not because of how it's a great filmmaking process, but I want them to know that they can do this for themselves as well. I want them to know that this is all within themselves, like it's intrinsic to themselves.
So that's kind of what you're hoping the audience uncovers, is the fact that this is accessible for everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
And has there in the process of chatting to everybody, has there been kind of a part of an interview that you've had with a guest where and you don't have to give too much away, right? Okay, you don't have to give too much away, but has there been something that's happened with a guest where you've kind of, it's caught your breath and you've gone, that's it, that's exactly what this film is all about, is that sentence or that phrase or something?
I can tell you what was common with all of the guests that I thought the same thing about.
Yeah.
Every one of you in your own way said humor and laughter is a necessity, not a nice to have, but a must to have.
Yeah, right.
And for me, personally, it was always a must to have. But that all of you saying it confirmed it.
Yeah.
You, Roz, David, Andrew, all of them said it.
Is that view on how humour and laughter for mental health, is that something that has kind of been foremost in your mind in relation to getting your the theme or the message across, going that this is yes, it's all about humour and laughter and comedy, but at the end of the day, this is a mental health documentary, really, isn't it?
Yes. So for example, we want to say, yes, humor and comedy, it's for entertainment. Yes, that's where David's episode talks about. But then we want to say, yes, it kind of transcends to other aspects of our lives, like pretty much every other aspect of life: education, workplace, mental health.
Yeah.
Especially those three are the main ones.
Yeah.
So in all of these things, it really is mental stability. So the humor and laughter is kind of that makes us all stable.
Yeah. When you're saying before about how you're a big fan of comedians as such, right? Yeah. Which is a great thing to do for a documentary called Seriously Unserious, right?
Yeah.
But has this whole process, what's it done for your personal view of maybe not specifically comedians, comics as such, but comedy as an art form? Has it kind of, changed or informed your view on comedy as an art form?
Yeah, for me, I think it's more now like a craft. Like it's something that requires a lot of research and focus and writing.
Yeah.
Similar to a book, but like a really short book. Because at the end of the day, when comedians go up on stage, they're telling a story. So they have to hit the right marks, like the actual story, and the incongruency bit, and the punchline. Like when I say it now, it doesn't sound funny at all because I'm analyzing it. But I've seen it's an art form, but there's also a technicality to it.
What has there been a part of the information that you've been gathering where you've thought to yourself, that part of the equation between comedy and mental health, like that's a big ticket item that we can actually use to try and bring comedy into, like social prescribing and make it more of a non-clinical mental health, intervention.
Yes, actually. When it was actually kind of hit me when Ross said it, I think it was Ross, and also Dr. Nikki, where they talk about humor is just reframing a situation. So if you take a stressful situation, like like for example, if you have anxiety with flying or fear of flying,
with
planes, so and you kind of reframe the situation.
Yeah.
So, for example, if I had the fear of flying towards a long haul flight, like to the US, for example.
Yeah.
If I was anxious about it, from Sydney to LA, and that's like 12 hours worth of anxiety. But instead, if I can reframe it, it's like, at least if things go wrong, I don't have to work and film all these conference keynotes. Less work for me. And like if I did that,
yeah,
I would feel better in the moment, and that kind of just wash over the anxiety.
Yeah.
Yeah. My main one.
Well,
sorry.
yeah, and you look at, the Australian sense of humour is so unique on the world stage that, especially, when I see it come to the fore in relation to what you're saying about reframing something negative, is when you see the everyday Aussie that's been smashed by a cyclone or a flood or, something. They've had to deal with something pretty harrowing that's a major life event. And you see them be interviewed on the news or for some, special that they're doing about this cyclone that went through this region or whatever. And the Aussie sense of humour really shines in that, in that instance. And you just go, that's what it's all about. These guys are just, they're hard up against it. They've lost everything or whatever, and they've still got a way to, I'm going to be on the news. I'm going to be on the news, right? Okay, so and they use that sense of humour to cope with what they're going through.
Exactly, it's kind of dark, but it helps.
Well, and like as you would have heard, it's like one of the mature coping mechanisms is your sense of humour, being able to put emotional distance between you and something negative to reframe it is incredibly positive. David Smeet and I were chatting about the different professions and the different people that have got wild sense of humours, and obviously first responders have got a pretty full-on sense of humour to deal with what they have to go through. We agreed that nurses probably have the best sense of humour of anybody that we encounter because of what they deal with on a day-to-day basis. Have you had a chat to any nurses?
No, not recently. No, I don't. I have. I know a friend who's a nurse, but I didn't really chat about their sense of humour now.
A comedian nurse that you could chat to is Georgia Carroll.
Okay.
Yeah. So comedian nurse, she's awesome. She's funny as. She'd be a great guest. See, here I am giving you more guests. Right? So
well, work for me, Mark.
Oh yeah. Is it gonna be a mini series, or is it gonna be series 1, series
multiple
2?
series? Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'd be a big fan of that. So you must have like an audience in mind when you set out to make a documentary, like you said, you went looking for something and you went, it's not there in the form that I want to see it, so I'm going to do this. But do you have, when you set out on this, do you have an audience in mind who you're kind of targeting this towards? Well,
short answer is everyone. Who, globally, just everyone. But if you kind of to expand on it, would be like anyone who needs a laugh, anyone who loves to laugh, and anyone who likes to make others laugh. Because we'll try our best to kind of either have captions or dubs in different languages, because if you want to have a global outreach, that is the way to go. But it's just everyone. As long as they understand that this is a human spectrum. And we're trying to keep it as versatile and diverse as possible. It's global outreach.
I love a couple of aspects about this that I love so much is that you're covering a more expansive view of it as opposed to just the saying laughter is the best medicine. Because when I talk to people about that, it's a case of, in actual fact, it should be humour and laughter are the best medicines, and I love the fact that you're going to great lengths to make sure that the importance of humour as a construct to create the laughter is a real powerful bit, you know, and that's the difference between like when you see people doing laughter yoga in the park or whatever, which is a great thing. They're obviously getting all the physical benefits out of it, but the psychological benefits of using your sense of humour as a construct to create it, and that's what you're unpacking during this documentary, keeping that in there as well, I think is so important. And you're also exploring the social aspect of it, you know, why it's important to laugh with other people and the connectedness that brings is, you know, it's the three domains of health, humour and laughter, you know, physical, mental health, social health. And I love the fact that you're covering all three of them.
Oh, I'm glad to do it. And also it's to do with the fact that, so with laughter, things like in laughter yoga or watching something, you kind of need that stimulus. But the thing is, sometimes there may not be a stimulus for you to laugh. Like if you don't have the right show in front of you or someone to prompt the laughter, that's where you need to tap into your own sense of humor. Yeah. And kind of create it yourself. So humor generation. Yeah. That's why I thought, it's really important to have that in the documentary as well.
Yeah, well, generating humour is, you know, a big thing. It's one of the you know, they talk about self-enhancing and affiliative humour as being the two really positive ones. And, you know, I've read research that supports the fact that it's more beneficial to make someone laugh than to laugh yourself, you know, because of that connectedness and self-esteem and all of that sort of great stuff. You know, I'm forever saying to people, go forward and be funny.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
You know, has your sense of humour been tested during the making of this documentary? Have you, you know, gone, oh, I don't know about that, you know, like.
Yeah, you know what? I used to think, I still think that I'm funny.
Yeah.
But when I met you, Kevin, David, Ross, no, I was nowhere near close. Like I said, I was trying to write the jokes, and then Kevin you all would get it in one go, rapid fire. And I'm thinking, why am I wasting my time? I'm just going to say, insert joke here or ask in a funny way and then let you all do it. Yeah. And that's part of seeing me do that during the set. I said, okay, talk about this, but say this and make it funny.
Yeah.
And so now when I would write the question to Kevin, I'd say, insert joke here. Yeah. Because I'm like, why bother?
Yeah, that's right. Well, if the guests are entertaining enough, you know, like we've got this.
Yeah. You know? I'm not going to embarrass myself with writing jokes. Yeah.
Well, you know, it must be comedians. I think it can be a bit hard to rein in sometimes, you know, because we just how do you decide what to put in? And like, obviously you've got your story arc, you know, but when you've got so much raw footage, that's what amazes me is the power of a good edit. And the importance of editing when you've got hours of footage, it must be really hard to decide what to leave in and what to leave out.
Exactly, yeah. There's so much good stuff, so many good jokes, so much that I want to leave in. But I think because it's a comedy docuseries, it needs to be under 30, or that's how I've seen the format is. So what I do is I keep everything that's relevant to someone's story. Yep. So everything in your journey, I'd keep, for example, I would keep all the jokes that has context and relevant to your story. Yeah. And if there's something extra, like if I've got time left and there's a context and a joke, but I really love the joke, but if I can include the context also within time, I leave it in. If not, I save it. I think, maybe we can use it in extras or outtakes, or I can just give it back to you and you can use it. Yeah. So that's how I kind of sift through everything, all of the footage.
Well, put all the little bits and pieces together for a behind the scenes making of or something like that, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like it's a real process, isn't it, making a documentary? So for those for those listeners that, because I know I don't know, what's the process for getting a documentary on like Netflix or one of those big platforms? Like it must be They must be at one point. On one side they must be craving for material, and on the second it must be quite hard to get in.
Yeah, it's still like a new concept for me as well. But what I've noticed is that we have opportunity to submit to film festivals.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as it fits the right criteria, like length, genre.
So even as an episodic series, so
Yes.
5 or 6 episodes, you can still submit that. So is that
Yeah.
kind of is that the equivalent of like the open mic scene for comedy? You've got to go and show your wares at a film festival.
Yeah, quite similar. Yeah. So you submit it. Usually it's digital. You submit it, and there's obviously a reviewing panel. They'll have a look and they say, "Are you selected or you're not selected?"
Mm-hmm.
And the more selections you get, it generates buzz. And once that happens, either we go to either a broadcaster like the ABC or SBS.
Yeah.
And they would review it if it fits their code of broadcasting guidelines.
Yeah.
They would broadcast it. Or I think streaming platforms will pick up if there's enough popularity and buzz generated from festivals.
Right. So you kind of go. You don't go straight to approaching Netflix with it.
Yeah.
You go through the festival process and then try to go the free-to-air television route, and then from there, if it gains traction, put it on a streaming service. Yeah. Right. Okay.
Yeah. Because I know for a fact that Netflix doesn't accept unsolicited pictures.
Right.
Or screens. It needs
which is a very 2026 thing to do, isn't it? Not receive unsolicited pictures. You know, I know some people on some dating apps that should definitely be saying I don't accept unsolicited pictures.
Yeah. That's a good line. But so it's like we have to know someone within Netflix to pitch things to them. Yeah. Which is ironic because if we don't know it, but we have this, how do we get through? Yeah, so it's
a chicken and egg kind of thing, isn't it?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So, what's the? Is there specific festivals that you've really got to target for a film like this? Like, or is it? Is there a documentary festival, or you pretty much just farm it out to a lot and see who bites?
Yeah. So there's criteria. So for example, I think. It needs to be a film festival that accepts series and accepts the duration. So, for example, I think the Sydney Film Festival accepts feature length only. I could be wrong.
Yeah.
The last time I checked was feature length. So it would, so I have to go find a film festival that accepts series. And then they would say, upload just the one episode.
Right.
Not the full series itself.
Yep.
And then they'll review it. Maybe then just take the rest of the series themselves.
Yeah.
I did some research early on and found there are a few comedy film festivals that we can submit, or like globally.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had a little exposure to it when we did WOM, which was about the body surfing culture in Australia. That was directed by Wendy. I did some camera work on it. So, I did see how that process works. So she would just submit it where it fit the criteria, the film fit the criteria of the festival, and got selected for a few surfing film festivals. So it kind of aligns with the topic that we lead the film on. Yeah. Yeah. So our line would be comedy film festivals.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, so your commitment to this project, Medhavi, is so inspirational. It really is. It's a credit to you. So tell us about your recent trip to the United States and the conference that you just went to, because, for someone that's undertaken this type of filmmaking, genre, the commitment to go to this conference over there is pretty huge. So where were you and what were you doing over there?
Yeah, so we flew to the US, California, and drove to San Diego, which is where the Association for Applied and Therapeutic Humour had their annual conference.
What,
This year was called
say it again, sorry, the Association for
Applied and Therapeutic Humor.
Applied and Therapeutic Humor. Isn't it beautiful that there's even just a thing? Like, I mean, I'm encouraged, and it gives me hope, the fact that there is actually a conference called that.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. And it's very, very much aligned with the documentary, the same intentions and goals. And it's the most unserious and the most fun conference I've ever been to.
Great. So was there a moment at the conference that kind of stood out for you as being, wow, that, like, you know, it's a big thing going all the way over there for it, but like, what were your takeaways from it?
Oh, I felt that, like, being there for 3 to 4 days, it just showed how humor and laughter is kind of something that was resetting. So it's a reset for all of us. Like, you travel such a long way, and you just sit there listening to all the talks and laughing with them, meeting all these new people. It felt like a reset.
Yeah.
And some of the members there, the attendees, were saying, I really needed this. I needed this humor because I had so much going on. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know if I should even be there. I should have been with my family. But then she decided, it's I needed this for me. That was another thing. One of the speakers was saying, you need to put yourself first, like, look after yourself first, help yourself first so you can help others. And humor is such a great way to do that. Yeah. And
well, I think every mental health speaker on the planet uses the analogy of the oxygen mask and in the safety speech in the plane, you know, put your mask on yourself before helping others, because you're no use to anyone if you're suffocating. So, you know, we hear this term duty of care, and I'm forever telling people that you've got a duty of care to yourself first and foremost. So, you know, to look after yourself, so as that way, if the people in your life do call on you, that you're not in a heap. You know, you got to try and look after yourself. Good stuff for the documentary, though, out of the conference for you personally.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Is there a guest that you got to chat to over there that stands out? Someone that you're going to include in the documentary? Do you reckon?
Oh, there were so many that I love to.
Yeah.
There was one called Sporty King. He is a poet, and he is the one who said, you know, you look after yourself first. Yeah. Put yourself first before you're helping others. He would have been a great addition. I just didn't have the time or the logistics to arrange anything or even ask him. That's how busy I was. Yeah. But he would have been great. There were others who were great too. They had all sorts of stories. Some of them cancer survivors, some of them who work through mental health become clowns. Yeah, right. Yeah, and there was another attendee called Alan Klein. He has his own documentary called The Jollytologist. Yeah,
because isn't it strange that that's the name for the study of humour and laughter?
Yeah, so it's Jolly. Yeah. So they use like a variation of that name. Yeah, so much. Yeah, so like we could have like at least 10 people from there.
Yeah, right. Well, without putting all of that more burden on yourself, so where are you at now? Like, now that you've just come back, so where are you at in the timeline of, you know, getting things all tucked away and all your episodes sorted and everything?
So it's simultaneous filming and post-production. So whatever I film, I'm in the editing space. Yeah. And there are a few more segments to film, like the actual experts talking. Got to do the graphics, sound, coloring, all that sort of thing. So yeah, it was all happening in parallel. I'm estimating completion. I was hoping to get it all done by the end of this year. I don't know. So that's what I'm aiming for mid next year. Yeah. I'm hoping for trying to look for just at least 1 or 2 more guests. So we've got 6 episodes because 4 seems a bit too low at the moment. I've got some merch here.
I
It
got some
came.
merch, right?
I
Okay,
only
so
ordered
this
it
is for the
early this
people that
year.
are tuning in, watching, and not listening. So, what does that
Yeah.
say?
Oh, are you seeing it mirrored?
Always see the funny.
Yeah,
Well,
and that's the Seriously Unserious.
seriously unserious.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So at some point you'll get one of these.
How do I get me one of those mugs? I'd like a
Yeah.
hat. We need a little hat. Seriously unserious.
I should. Yeah. Well, I'll order one. I'll
You
order
know,
some.
seriously unserious. So
So
seriously, I am so grateful for your time and
and I'm grateful for your time. For having me.
I'm so excited to be involved with this project, and it's really interesting the people that I've met through meeting you, and like I was interviewed, I think we spoke about this, the end of last year for a lady that's doing a thesis, a PhD in comedians talking about suicide on stage and that sort of stuff, which is interesting. And there's just so many aspects to this that I'm so excited that there's someone like yourself who's got the passion, who's clearly doing it for the right reasons, is putting this together, because it's an important topic. It really is, the health benefits of humour and laughter, especially now more than ever. And I think it's in really good hands with you, Medhavi. I really do.
Oh, thank you.
I can't wait to see what it ends up like. I really can't, and I'm proud to be involved with it. I really.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot. That means a lot that you have so much faith in me.
Yeah, well, like you want to tell the story that you want to tell is the right story, and the message that you want to get across is the right message, and if in 3, because you'll never know. That's the thing, is when we do our comedy or mental health presentations and that sort of stuff, I'm constantly being reminded that you never know who's in your audience. You never know what they're going through. You never know what effect what you do is going to have on their life. Like all I need is, if someone sees one of my presentations and then in 6 months' time they recognise a warning sign or something in a friend of theirs or a work colleague, and then they go, what did that guy say again about that? And it sparks them to create action or have a conversation with that person. And that's, I've done my job, but you never know the reach that you'll have. And the same with this, like you said, different countries, having it produced in different languages. And if someone, is sitting at home one night and they're feeling sad and despondent and lonely or whatever, and they see one of these episodes and it brings a smile to their face and reminds them of the fact that, humour and laughter are so incredibly important for those 3 domains of your health, not only the physical but psychological and social. And it inspires someone to connect with, people that they enjoy laughing with. Job's done. You've done your job.
Yeah.
That's
exactly what we want to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have a variety of episodes to choose from. You're not feeling great and motivated at work, switch on Andrew's episode. That sort of thing. So that's that diverse, versatile nature of humor.
Yeah.
And there's an episode for each of them. So
yeah. I love it. So let's you've been so gracious with your time. I really appreciate it. So what we are doing now is we're going to wind this up with all of our guests get asked what I call the feel good 5. All right. This is how we finish. We're finishing with the feel good 5. So it's basically 5 questions that everybody gets asked. Your answers can be as long or as short as you like, right? It's totally up to you where we go with this, right? So Medhavi Fernando, what is the thing what makes you happy is number 1 on the list?
So pretty much being out in nature, breathing fresh air. So I live near a lake. So every morning I just go for a walk around the lake. I see different animals,
nice.
Ducks.
What a wonderful way to start your day.
Yeah. And when it's sunshine, it's even better.
Yeah.
I see like lots of different kinds of birds, a heron, a darter. So yeah, that makes my day. And then I see the dogs walk past. I instantly light up.
So the dogs, of course, right? So does this walk, is it a 20-minute walk that takes an hour and a half because you're stopping taking photos of things and chatting to people?
Sometimes.
Is it one of those walks?
Yes, yeah. When I did take my
Love
camera
it.
down, I
Yeah.
would stay there for ages trying to get a bird, but maybe wait for like 20 minutes until it flaps its wings. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to do that. Yeah,
I've totally
yeah.
done
So
that. Okay, so number 2 on the Feel Good 5, we'll get there. What are you grateful for today?
today I'm well, like just like most days, I'm grateful. Well, most importantly, for you having me on. Super grateful, and you being in the documentary, and more
Oh,
people like you.
I'm very grateful to be involved.
Yeah. But just if you mean generally,
Yeah.
you know, I'm just grateful that there's food in the fridge, in the pantry. Um, my parents are close by, 10 minutes. I can always stop by.
Nice.
And yeah, I've got a nice warm bed. So
Yeah,
yeah,
cool. Yeah, it's a little thing sometimes, isn't it? Like you think to
yeah,
yourself, like I'm grateful for all of this stuff, but then at the end of the day, roof over your head, food in the cupboard,
yeah,
bed to sleep in,
yeah,
because it's we're so exposed to what's happening in the world with all the media and stuff. It's there's a lot of people
exactly.
that don't have those fundamentals.
Yeah. And that's why I'm thinking if I've got these, maybe I should give back in some form.
Mm.
And yeah, and that's like the main driving force of my filmmaking. Yeah, it's about giving back in
Yeah,
some way.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
cool. I love it. I love it. Okay, so number 3 on the list. What are you looking forward to? What's coming up?
Basically, pretty much doing the edits and making sure everything's done and polished
Yeah,
with the film.
yeah,
That's pretty much what I look forward to every day. These couple of days, these couple of months, maybe
yeah,
even the rest of the year. Yeah.
yeah. Nice. Oh, I'll tell you, I've done a bit of editing, and I'm just like, oh, it's all yours. Are you actually doing it yourself, or do you have like a partner in
Yes.
crime that helps you with the editing?
No, I do the editing by myself. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's it.
Um,
Yeah. Well, good luck.
thanks.
I acknowledge how hard a job that is because of getting 3 hours of footage and going, okay, I'm going to pull out 20 minutes of gold. It's just like, oh, good luck. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a good skill. It's good practice.
Yeah.
Good
Oh, yeah.
practice and
And it is a
patience.
skill,
Yeah.
isn't it? No, like that's an art form in itself. Is knowing, it's like the guy that what's that old saying where they go, a sculptor's sculpting an elephant out of a block of rock, and they say, "How do you do that?" And he goes, "I just chip away everything that doesn't look like an elephant."
Yeah. Yeah. And I've noticed that with films as well. If you can have bad directing and bad acting,
Yeah.
but if you have a really great editor,
Mm.
it can come out so well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It also works the other way around. Like you have great actors and great, like a really good director and really cinematic footage and sound, but your
Yeah.
editor falls apart, drops the ball. It's
Yeah.
not going to come out great. Yeah. So it all stands with the editor, I would say.
That's right. And we're talking real life editors here, ladies and gentlemen. We're not talking AI editors. We're talking real
Yes.
people.
Human.
Real people. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. So number 4 on the Feel Good 5 list is what's your me time, right? When you want to switch off from the world and have a bit of a time to recalibrate, what are you doing?
Watch a movie or binge watch TV. So it would be either at the cinema or at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just on the couch. Yeah, I know it doesn't sound like the most exciting thing to do.
No,
Yeah,
that's sometimes. Look, when you go and you're flat out, sometimes just sitting on the couch having a bit of couch time is just bliss. Absolute
yes.
bliss. It's just
Yeah,
bliss.
that's it.
Turn your phone off. I'm on do not disturb while I watch the last 5 episodes of this. Like, because that's the thing is, it's so easy to do couch time now because you can binge watch stuff.
Yes, yes.
Love it.
Not the most healthiest. I try and manage myself. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Couch time, love it. And so the last one on the Feel Good 5 is what has made you laugh recently?
I'll tell you, it's when I want to watch the new Michael film, the biopic about Michael Jackson.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there's a scene where the audience is introduced to his pet chimpanzee Bubbles,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and it's the same time his family meets Bubbles as well. We
Yeah.
don't know if Michael's met him before or not,
Yeah.
but it's that scene where you see the contrast of Michael's excitement to see Bubbles,
Yeah.
and the family's like so shocked.
Yeah,
What's
this is
going
the
on?
scene where Bubbles shows up in the combi
Yes,
van or something. He's getting delivered.
yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes.
I
Do you
thought the
remember that?
exact same thing because, it's just and he's got a little nappy on and
Yes. Oh, it was the best. I was sitting in the cinema chair. I'm going, this is so great. I love it because my reaction, Michael's reaction is the exact same thing.
yeah, right. Yeah.
And his family's reaction would be people around me reacting to that or reacting in any of my interactions with the animal. It's not just like from that scene onwards, he goes and plays Twister with Bubbles.
Yeah.
And talks to him like, oh yeah, that's my music. Don't play with the tape deck. That's where my demos are.
Yeah.
And I remember I can relate to it because I used to talk to Roger, who's rest in peace. That way, I used to talk to him like, do you like what I'm wearing? Do you like this? What do you think?
Who
of
was
this?
Roger?
And, my little pooch.
Right.
Roger was my dog. Yeah.
Oh, of course, Roger. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Roger. Yeah, he sadly passed last year. But yeah, that was my interaction with it. And that made me laugh because in such a joyful, heartwarming way because I can relate to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And people around me would look at me like that, the same way Michael's family would look at him.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that whole scene, all of it made me laugh.
Yeah, it was a great, that I do, like there's something about, like I challenge you, how can anyone not laugh at a little monkey in, doing
Diapers, yeah.
doing, in diapers, playing Twister. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Whoever thought up that is like, that's funny.
Yeah, and then the way the monkey, not monkey, but chimpanzee climbs onto his shoulder and he carries him like a baby.
Yeah.
I used to carry Roger like that. So I know all about it. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So were you...
And then later on...
Sorry, you go.
I was going to say, later on he gets dressed up in suits, like proper T-shirts as well.
Yeah.
In photos you would see Bubbles dressed like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, so I should have asked you this before, but I suppose it's, I'm sorry for only thinking about this right now, but what has your family's response been to you choosing to do this documentary?
They kind of they thought it was kind of new.
Are you the funny one in your family? Are you the one that drives the sense of humour? Like you're the one that makes sure that family gatherings have an element of laughter to it? I can picture that being you.
I think so. I would say out of all of them, I'm funniest because, like, all of the families are very serious.
Right.
So I'm the one that is like the most unserious, and I get told a lot like, "Oh, you never take anything seriously." So that's how I know I'm the funniest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, that to me is an amazing compliment. If someone says you never take anything seriously, you go, "That's right. That's right."
Yeah. And yeah, I've been told a lot, even by friends, like, "Oh, you don't take this seriously, do you?" I said, "No, I refuse."
That's great. Yeah. That is great. Yeah. It's so cool. Yeah. You don't take it seriously. No.
Yeah.
Because there's so many things in life that we take seriously that we shouldn't. Obviously, there is a time and a place, right, for serious behaviour, but I think one of the big things about leaning into the relationships with the people in your life that you share a sense of humour with is the biggest thing. That's what I'm constantly promoting, is the fact that everyone knows who in our life we can share a laugh with and have some fun, and leaning into those relationships is so important, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm glad that I turned out this way and that I'm not taking things seriously.
Don't ever change.
Yeah.
Don't ever change. Don't be tainted by spending 2 years making a documentary about laughter and then see at the end of it going, I never want to speak to another comedian again.
Oh no. It won't. I won't change. Yeah, it won't happen.
Wonderful. Well, look, I would love to have you back when you're out there peddling the wares, you've got it in the can. Is that still the term, in the can, when you've got it in the can?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
So once you've got it all, signed and sealed and delivered, and you're out there, pushing around the saying, "Here it is, people. Have a good look at it." I'd love to get you back and see what your thoughts are on, how it's turned out and where you're going with the promotion of it. So
absolutely, I'd love to be back.
Yeah, awesome.
You should be my first promotional press person.
That's right. Excellent. Yes, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. You heard it here first. So that's right. If we should get this episode and email it to any prospective investors that want to invest in this Seriously Unserious documentary, and because I know that it's a passion project. It
is. Yeah, it's very much independent so far. Yeah.
Yeah. So kudos to you. I really admire that.
Thank you.
Really do. So there you go, my friends. Medhavi Fernando, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you hanging out with me this afternoon and everything that you're doing for the humour and laughter, for therapeutic and health and all that sort of stuff. It's the documentary is going to be amazing. I've seen the bits and pieces that you've been putting together, and I'm so excited. So, to our dear listeners, wherever it is that you are listening, anywhere in the world, thank you for tuning in. As always, appreciate your time. And if you haven't already done so, hit the follow button, leave a comment, let us know your thoughts, or flick through the archive and have a look at if there's any other episodes that you think you may be interested in. Share them with your friends and family. So, Medhavi, thank you very much for hanging out this afternoon.
Thank you, Mark.
All right, and as always, my friends, be kind to yourself, be kind to those around you. Talk to you soon. Cheers.
Thank you for listening. The information contained in this podcast is for educational and entertainment purposes. It is not intended, nor should it ever replace, advice received from a physician or mental health professional. Want more info? Visit thelaughterclinic.com.au. If you enjoyed the episode, please share and subscribe. Thanks again for listening to the Laughter Clinic podcast with your host, Mark McConville.